Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to Mocha Money Monday. I'm your host, Ashley Scott, and today I am here with the founder and the captain over at Solum Global Inc., along with our interim CFO, Mr. Anthony DeLeonardo. I'm about to mess it up again, Anthony. Anthony DeLeonardo. He's a friend of the show, and we're so excited to have you back to talk with our bankable business owners. How's it going, guys?
Very good.
Going
Pleasure
great.
to be here.
Good to see you again, Anthony, and a pleasure to meet you, Kirk. Now, Mr. Kirk St. John's, I want to get started with you. As a matter of fact,
Okay.
I'm going to let Anthony introduce you, Kirk, since
All
you
right.
guys know each other and you're working on this amazing project. And listeners, you're tuned in right now to the world's first audited stable coin backed by USD and gold. So I want you to tune in and get ready to learn some more about this amazing world of cryptocurrency and how you can be a player in it. All right, I'm gonna send it on over to you, Anthony.
Great. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm joined here by Mr. Kirk St. Johns, who is, I would say, a little bit of a tech visionary. Definitely understands the vision of Solum. Came up with a great idea about a year and a half ago to create a product that is definitely needed in an untransparent market, such as the stablecoin world. And happy to have him here today. Give us a little bit of light on our project that we've been working on. I've been really blessed to have the opportunity to join the team and to help on the finance side. And yeah, super excited to be here. Over to you, Kirk.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. So, probably I would start off by telling you, a little bit about how we got to where we are as Solum Global, maybe a tidbit about what a stable coin is, and then about what we call a transparent monetary network. And then I'll try to, open that back up to any thoughts or questions anybody here on the panel may have. But, I go back, gosh, probably 12 or 15 years ago. That's when most people started to hear about Bitcoin. And that was probably the first word that most of the audience here heard in relationship to what we call cryptocurrencies or even the blockchain, which is the technology that kind of runs the cryptocurrencies. And I was working out in Seattle and building an e-commerce platform for a group called Amway. Amway's a network marketing company, one of the oldest, one of the largest ones, pretty solid group. They had about 1,300,000 members, 26 different countries, 15, 16 different currencies. And at that point in time, they wanted to, air quotes, they wanted to get online. So we met with the owners, we met with the key downline managers, and we started to put together a platform, which candidly was, was eBay coupled with Facebook. And we're all familiar now with, big platforms where everyone can have their own profile, whether that's Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. But back in the day, early 2000s, that wasn't really popular yet. And I think Facebook came out in like 2006 or 2008. So when we met with these guys, we conceived of what we were calling an internet community, and we made a web portal. And as a result, we had to get a credit card processor to help them process their cards. Whether it's the shopping cart, or if you're at one of the Amway events and you wanted to swipe your card or, run it through. We negotiated their credit card processing fee, which means how much does the credit card processing company charge the client every time someone swipes a card. So we do that at the gas station. We do that, if we go to a hotel, a restaurant, the supermarket. Most people have bought an airline ticket or something online, and there's a checkout shopping cart there, whether it's eBay or, Expedia. And 1.78% was a pretty good number. So just to bring that home, every time someone spent $100 on the Amway website buying soaps or vitamins or whatever their product were, $1.78 of that went to the credit card processing company. And Amway got the remaining, what would that be, $98.22. So right about then, my partner in this company and co-founder Sterling, was nudging me, going, what do you think about this Bitcoin stuff? And I said, you're like the third person that's brought that up to me. I'm not really sure what it is. So let me take a look at it. So I started to look into Bitcoin, and I realized right away what we were dealing with was a new technology. Certainly it's a digital currency, which in essence isn't really that far from the little magnetic strip on the back of your card that's turning your money into electricity, moving it over the internet. The restaurant will take your card, ping your bank, make sure there's enough money in there, and the transaction closes. But with cryptocurrencies, they move out of something called a wallet. So a wallet is basically an app on your phone. It would be a lot like Apple Pay or any other app on your phone. But the currency within it is going to be a cryptocurrency. And then it travels across something that's called the blockchain, which is in essence the internet, but it's a little bit different, a little bit more sophisticated, certainly cheaper. And I realized right away that you can move money around on these new networks, virtually for free. So I started to think about an idea behind how companies like Amway, Hyatt Hotels, Expedia, anybody that accepts credit cards, Domino's Pizza as a chain, how they could start a new payment service, and in that payment service not get charged as much money for the transaction. Now, they could either keep that as profit within their company, or they could have passed it on to their clients for a subtly cheaper transaction. Thus, the bill would be a little cheaper. So we started down that trail, and Bitcoin was going to be the currency. And when we got to the C-suite at Domino's Pizza, and we were really very close to closing them as our first client to use our payment gateway system and Bitcoin as the currency. But the comptroller of Domino's said, look, the problem with Bitcoin is if I take the Bitcoin, I sell a $20 pizza on January 1st, and I take 20 in Bitcoin, and when I cash out at the end of the month, the one thing I know is it's not going to be worth $20. And the comptroller said, Kirk, it could be worth $30. It could be worth 40, but it could also be worth 11 or 17. And that just doesn't work for us, because we need to be able to close out our books on a simple and easy, process. And so we're going to pass on that idea. So Bitcoin was and is a cryptocurrency that goes up and down in value. And when you look at that over, say, a 3, 4, 5, 6 month period, Bitcoin has routinely gone up and down as much as 20, 30, 40%. Right now, Bitcoin is running around $63,000, $65,000 per coin. And when we got started doing this, it was at 50, and then it dropped to 18, and then it has another surge, and now it's back up to 65. So it's work with a type of cryptocurrency that's always worth $1. And that's what a stable coin is. A stable coin is a cryptocurrency that does not go up or down in value. It always remains the same. And of course, we chose that value to be $1 because that makes it simpler for people to do transactions using the cryptocurrency. Now, most people are aware of PayPal, one of the biggest credit card processors in the world, certainly for online transactions. And PayPal came out with a stable coin last summer. And the reason they did that is they understand what I understand, which is that people are going to start using cryptocurrency more and more as they pay their bills and save money and do different things with money that they're currently doing, but they're just going to be able to do it at a cheaper and faster and safer methodology than what we have today in the regular credit card processing and the going through the US dollar back to your bank. So we decided we would come out with a currency and a payment solution that would allow businesses to charge people using a cryptocurrency and then move that money back and forth and around for a much, much cheaper price. So you'll remember I said the Amway contract was 1.78%. With our service, it costs 0.1%. And that really becomes important if you're a company like Amway or back to Hyatt or McDonald's or any of these companies that do, tens of thousands of transactions a week in some cases, a day in some cases, but certainly monthly. Well, that's a lot of money by the end of the year. So what we anticipate is more and more businesses beginning to accept crypto. And then as a result, they'll look for a stable coin so that it's easy for them to balance their books and close books out at the end of the month. And that's what gave us the idea for the stable coin at $1. Now, one of the other elements that we added to it, because of the way it used to be here in the old days in the US, is you could take a $20 bill and go down to the local mint or the reserve and trade it in and get an ounce of gold, because gold was at $20 an ounce back then. And so this US dollar, when it was at its strongest throughout history, was literally backed by gold. And most of the people in finance know this, but not everybody, the average bear may not know this. But during the Great Depression, Franklin Delano Roosevelt became president. And he decided that one of the ways to fix the economy here in the US was to change the monetary system subtly. And he made everyone in the country turn in their gold. And that's when the US dollar became a partially gold-backed reserve, gold-backed currency. And then in 1972, Richard Nixon took us completely off the gold-backed, and we now have what's called fiat currency. So you can no longer take a $20 bill and go down to call it the mint window and turn it in for gold. And so we decided that particularly in second and third world economies and economies of culture, like in China, India, Thailand, Malaysia, a lot of the different national cultural economies, gold is still a very important part of their ecosystem. And you can go there, and some people have a jar with gold in it buried in their backyard type thing. Or in India, a lot of people have gold jewelry or gold candlesticks, and it's sort of their last measure of defense in case everything goes crazy. So Solum came up with the idea of creating a payment gateway system, which we now have. So you can use Solum to pay your bills. You can use the Solum coin to send money around the world. And if you want, you can cash your Solum out for gold. And that's where we get the phrase a gold-backed digital currency. So I'll stop there and see what you guys think of that.
Well, first of all, I just want to say that the fact that you work with Amway in such an amazing way is really cool to me, because I'm a network marketer. And so Amway is if you're in sales, Amway, Jim Ron, these people who really made an impact using that company. So I just think that's dope. So I'm going to start there. And just being an entrepreneur is all about solving problems, right?
Right.
And so this Solum sounds like it can fill the gap in a lot of places for people, especially I like even what you said for those of us who are thinking about the end times, right? Some of us who are those conspiracy theorists. I mean, we have them all over the place. And to be able to have something that, is really of value, right? Because like you said, Bitcoin does go up, it does go down. I'm curious to understand, how do I trade it for gold if I need to cash my Solum out? Tell me more about that process.
Sure. So Solum, the Solum coin, you have also what's called a Solum wallet. So again, that's going to be much like Apple Pay on your phone. So there's the wallet in there. And if you have, let's just say you have 100,000 in Solum, inside the wallet, there's a little icon. It looks like 3 little gold bars. And you just touch that and a new screen pops up. And say you want to cash in 50,000 of your Solum coin. You put in 50,000 and hit go. We send that to our seat on the Dubai Gold Exchange, which is the 4th largest gold exchange in the world now. And it's connected with London and New York and Singapore. So it's part of the international gold, exchange. And we produce $50,000 worth of gold for you on the spot. And then you can either have it shipped to you. If you're adventurous and you want to go to Dubai, you can go there and pick it up. There's a vault in Dubai. You could, store it like a safety deposit box. You could have it shipped to a vault in Atlanta. At that point, you've got $50,000 worth of gold waiting for you. And you then at that point tell them what to do with it. Whether, again, you want to come get it, you want them to send it to you, or you want them to store it. So that's the methodology. And then Solum has a couple of other methods of getting gold, right? So the simplest and easiest way is to just buy it on the exchange. So you yourself today could go to, you're in Atlanta. There's a U.S. Mint and there's a U.S. Federal Reserve office in Atlanta. You could walk in as long as you have a proper ID. You could bring 50,000 in cash or your credit card and just walk up to the window and they'll give you 50,000 in gold. That's what a gold bullion dealer does. So that side of the equation is really not that complicated. It's just we chose to use Dubai. And right now we're putting together an international network. Some of your viewers might have heard about people being able to buy gold bars at Costco. I don't know if that's come across your radar, but Costco now sells gold bars. And so we're working with literally the company that provides it to Costco, as well as a series of jewelers and bullion dealers and coin dealers to make the final leg of where you could go to pick it up easier.
Yeah.
But in essence, we allow you to use the system to tell us where you want to get your gold.
Yep.
Anthony, you want to have something you want to add? Because I got a few more questions.
Sure. I was just going to say, effectively, the user will be able to pick up their gold in any metro market within the US or Europe. And we're working on creating that network now. So,
and how many days does it take to get to you once you initiate that process? If I want to see my gold, how do I
get
it to the house?
In your case, you could do an electronic contract that would move from Dubai to Atlanta as quickly as, an email. And then you can drive down and pick it up right away, or you could, again, have them store it for you there at the vault in Atlanta. It's up to you.
So the answer
pretty quick.
Same day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is so cool because a lot of us, we think about so many different asset classes. We talk about so many different asset classes. I want to know, as an entrepreneur, how is this going to be beneficial for my business, not just as a, personal investment, but when I start thinking about how do I integrate crypto into my business, is this a great strategy for that? And is it at the point where I can trust that when I start making these transactions that my money's going to be there? Because at the end of the day, liquidity is the most important thing.
Yeah, and I think that's a great question. So let me answer it in a couple of different channels, okay? So for example, you're in the US. So for you, if you go out, and you have a client, they pay you, say, $5,000. That $5,000, relatively speaking, is going to be worth $5,000 in a week, a month, 6 months. Now, the US dollar and inflation right now is kind of tough here in the States, but generally speaking, it's the stable currency in the world. It's the US dollar's the global reserve currency, right? So here in the States, you're not so much concerned about the value of your dollar, but if you lived in Argentina, where the pesos, if you go to Argentina today with $100 US and you borrow Argentinian pesos, then within 6 months, those pesos are worth about 30% less, right? So if you're a website designer in Argentina, someone pays you $2,500 in US, you get it in pesos, though, down there. You can immediately translate that into a Solum stablecoin. And 6 months from now, when those 2,500 pesos are worth 1,800 pesos, you still have 2,500 US in value because inflation hasn't ate it away, because you've stored that money in a stable coin, and that's a hedge against inflation. So that will help there. If you're the Haitian, we have a lot of Haitian people here in South Florida, and I've got a friend, he's called the chairman of the board for the Haitian community down here. He owns a very large construction company that does a lot of road work for the state of Florida. So he's got 200-300 guys that work for him, and probably at least a third of them are Haitian, and they send money home to grandma or to their sisters or whatever back in Haiti. So if you send $100 home to Haiti using Western Union, when grandma goes down to the local, grocery store place to pick it up, the Western Union location, she winds up getting about $89.90, maybe $91, because the fees to send it from the US to her are eaten up by, MoneyGram or Western Union. Now, using the Solum solution, grandma gets $99.90 out of that $100 because our fee is 1/10 of 1%. So there are some real world cases where that will help. But, not to go too deep into this, particularly for those people in your audience that are not as familiar with cryptocurrencies in general, the big daddy of them all of cryptocurrencies that are used daily in transactions is a company called Tether. And Tether has a stable coin. They have about $112 billion market cap, which means some people gave them $112 billion and Tether gave them 112 billion stable coins. So somewhere Tether should have that $112 billion so that people can see it. Well, one of the things that really pushed me into this road is about a year ago, I was literally sitting right there at the piano playing, and on the other side of the room, I've got a TV, and I had it on CNBC on mute, and I saw Tether on the television. I was like, what the heck are they doing? Because I know the founders of Tether, and I'm just interested. So I took it off mute, and I was listening, and Letitia James from New York, we're all familiar with her, ongoing struggles with Donald Trump, but she's the attorney general of the state of New York. And she was talking to the lawyer for Tether, and she said, you gave all those people your little tokens. Where's the money? Same question you just asked me, right? I want to know where the money is. So he said, to my aghast, he said, I can't tell you where it all is. I can only tell you where about 74 cents on the dollar is. And when I heard that, I said, okay, that's it. I've got to, I've been retired since 2016. I sold a software company in Seattle, moved back to South Florida. But I said, that's it. I'm going to get back in the game, and I'm going to do this differently. I have a 7-year-old I was telling you about before the show, and we have a glass jar that has, nickels, dimes, pennies, dollars in it. And he could tell you right now how much money's in that jar because he dumps it out and counts it every couple of days. So I thought of the glass jar as an idea. I said, Solum's going to manage this process differently than any other cryptocurrency, right? And you think about that, the word crypto is cryptic. Cryptic means hidden. And that's part of the beauty of the cryptocurrency is you got a wallet address and people don't know it's you. But on the other side of that, there's a lot of shenanigans going on in the industry. And there's a phrase called I don't want to cuss, but it's called a shit coin. And that's where people sell all these crazy coins and, the money goes somewhere and then everything falls apart and it just disappears. So what we decided to do is to take the money that people give us in exchange for Solum and put it in what's called a custodial account. That's a bank account. And then make that bank account public and third-party audited. So if you knew how to use the internet technology and blockchain technology, you can look yourself and see how many Solum coin have ever been issued. And if there was 100 coin issued, there should be $100 in the jar. 1,000 coins, $1,000 in the jar. If you're Tether and you got 111 billion coins outstanding, there should be $111 billion in the jar. And the transparency of that is what proves the liquidity. And the two of those, when you bring them together, I say bring accountability. And that may sound like a super simple and easy to understand idea, but it doesn't exist today in crypto. There is nobody out there that does that. And I look back to my clients, whether it was Amway, Nu Skin, Melaleuca, Shackley, these are all companies that adopted the system we built back in the early 2000s. None of them would use a stable coin, even if they thought they could save some money, if they weren't 100% positive that when they go to cash that coin back in, the money's there, right? It's the whole paradigm behind trust. So we look at trust as something that you gain through experience, certainly, but you also gain it through the structure of the company. So we decided to take the most transparent route we could think of. And so people can see, you give me your money, I put it over here, I give you the coin. You want the coin back, we give you your money back. If you trade your coin in for gold, we reach into that same jar, take the money over to Dubai and buy your gold on your behalf. So that's a system that we've put in place that will help keep us accountable and as a result, build trust from the people that use our system.
Well, this has been a super informative. I think that it's clear. How do the people start using Solum if they decide that that is the stable coin that they want to use, if they want to send money to Haiti, if they want to send money to grandma in Colorado? How do I get everybody connected to make those transactions?
Sure. So as we said to you also before the show, we're getting ready to do an event next Thursday evening in Atlanta. I think the actual sub area is called Norcross. So anybody that wants to go to solum.events will see there a schedule where they can get an RSVP from us, get in touch with us, come and learn a little bit about it in person. We'll also have a Zoom link for people that want to see what's going on over the web, kind of like what we're doing now. And we'll walk them through the process. They'll download our wallet onto their phone. They'll open it up. They'll put in their information, and we'll KYC them, get their credit card, bank information so they can buy it, and they can start using it right away.
Now, I'm also interested, a lot of our founders here, we have a higher level kind of an audience, so I'm excited to be able to introduce this to the people who are watching our Mocha Money Monday podcast. And I'm curious to see, how can we also tie this to crowdfunding? Is this a way, are you all crowdfunding? Can I not just be someone who buys and transacts with Solum, or can I be a part of the Solum story in a more meaningful way? And if I am a founder and I want to be able to crowdfund, can I use you guys' platform to do that? Can I use Solum to collect funds that can back my company and my business?
Sure. I mean, if what you want to do is, like Donald Trump, for example, just started taking Bitcoin as part of his campaign contribution. So certainly anybody that wants to use Solum, you'd get a Solum wallet as a founder business owner. Your people would get a Solum wallet, buy the coin, and send it to you, and that would work there. Solum is in the what we call a Reg D round. So we're pre-public offering. So the company hasn't gone public yet. So you'll have the opportunity to participate in owning stock in our company if that was something you'd be interested to do. In fact, that is the primary purpose of the event in Atlanta, is to bring together early stage investors. We're on our second round, but we're still, compared to Microsoft or whatever, we're early. And we could get them in on that. And then we will do what's called a pre-crowd sale of our coin shortly. And anybody in your audience that wants to buy it, it'll be at a 50% discount. So you can buy $10,000 worth of Solum today. We've been invited to launch this project officially from the United Nations late this fall. So we're thinking it's going to be late October, early November. And from that point forward, Solum would buy back all of the coins from people that were involved in the pre-crowd sale. So if you bought $10,000 worth, we'd give you 20,000 Solum coin, and we'll buy those back from you post-launch. So it's a nice little 2-for-1 investment that people can get involved with.
Yeah, great opportunity for those finance guys and gals out there that want to double up on their money pretty quickly.
Okay. And I see our Phenomenal Hughes Global Network is chatting in the chat. And we've got Miss Donetta, our sponsor, Wellston's Financial Group. And she said that, what's this called? Rise Up is a partner of our Mocha Money Monday. So thank you so much, riseupcrowdfunding.com, our Mocha Money Monday crowdfunding partner. And thank you, Captain Kirk. Thank you, Anthony. This has been an excellent show. I'm sure that our listeners just really learned a lot about your journey and about how these stable coins can be a game changer when you're trying to send money fast or even receive money. I think this is going to be a really great opportunity for those who are listening. Get in early if you see that this could be something that works for your portfolio and your classes of investments that you are interested in making. So thank you guys so much, Anthony. Thank you for being a friend to the platform. And it was such a pleasure to meet you, Kirk, today. If you guys have any final words, go on and let the people know what they are.
I would just say, remember to check solum.events, that's plural, and hopefully we can see some of you guys in Atlanta on next Thursday evening.
Right.
Yep. Or Miami or New York if you're in those locations. Those will be later this month.
Perfect. So remember to visit solum.events and come visit us on the phenomenalhughes.com or at phenomenalhughes.com, where we are building bankable businesses. And we are super excited to see you guys next time on Mocha Money Monday podcast. I'm Ashley Scott, your host. See you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.